Megan, thank you so much for having us here at TennoCon2025. For those watching, my name is Luke. I'm Aztecross's production manager. You've probably seen me around, but today I have the privilege of interviewing Megan. Megan, do you want to tell me what do you do?
Yeah, my name's Megan Everett. I'm the community director on Warframe, and I've been here for almost 12 years. It'll be 12 years in August.
That's awesome. Have you been doing community director that entire time, or has it been a mix of different?
I've been in community the whole time, started, at the bottom. Rebecca kind of took me in under her wing, and we did community together, grew the team together, and then, 2023, when we did the split of the old guard with the Soulframe and Warframe, that's when I became community director. Reb went to creative director, and we just started Warframe on its new path, I guess you could.
Yeah, that's awesome. What does the role of community director entail? What is it kind of you do on a day-to-day basis?
Whew, I do a lot. No, it's interesting because when I try to describe my job to people who maybe aren't in the video game world, like my parents or my family, they're like, so what do you do? It's hard to quantify everything I do. I think community director role specifically, obviously I now have to manage the actual community team, the actual people, which is, kind of one side of it, but a lot of it is also management of the actual player base, and that's figuring out day-to-day things. There's live ops, which is taking care of the live build, what are they saying about the current state of the builds, bugs, issues, feedback, update that goes out, patch notes need to get written, all of that. And then there's the more looking forward into TennoCon things or the updates that we know are coming up. What do we need to kind of get ready for all of those things? So it's very much every day you're looking at the present game, but you're also looking at what we're doing even next year. We're even planning things for next year that we need to make sure, okay, by X date, we need to make sure that we've got this dev workshop and all these community things. So it's kind of having your mind in all these places, but I also have a very incredible team that, we have our creator team, we have our, our people that work in QA, we're kind of everywhere as a community team, which is very helpful. And I just kind of have to put my brain into a million places, but we all come together and try to keep Warframe going.
That's great. And what would you say is the most odd job that you have as a community director? What's one of the hats that you wear that's off the beaten path a bit?
Off the beaten path. I would probably have to say, I don't want to say that I'm not saying events are weird, because people work on events. That's not my vibe. But I think it's just when we start to think of events, and I don't want our shows to ever be stale, or because we're very Canadian. I think that comes across when we talk about things or do these events, and I try to always kind of bring something a little bit goofy, I think, to these events. And you'll see that at Tennocon, where we have some gags planned that may or may not, they might be cringe. I don't know. I think it's a weird hat that I wear of trying to bring our Canadianisms to these events, and trying to think okay, how can we, because everyone wants to stand out, right? No one wants to have the same formula of an event. How can we make it a little different? So I have to tap that creative side of my brain to be let's do something a little weird.
Well, for sure. And on that note, I mean, the concert that's taking place this year. So I'll give you my perspective here. When I first heard that a concert was happening for Tennocon, my assumption was just, oh, they'll hire some people, they'll come in like a band, and they'll just perform some of the Warframe tracks. But no, this is the actual devs who are hosting the concert, right?
Yeah, so it's our, Warframe team of Matt Chalmers, our composer, Fran, who does a lot of our singing, and then Rebecca Ford, our creative director, doing the bass, and it's become this almost big growing of the family of the team, because there will be some special guests of some other devs coming on as well and doing music, and it's the people who we've worked with on the 1999 songs and that kind of thing that are coming back and doing this live stage presence. So all these people that we've worked with essentially online and heard their music, put it in the game, it's great. Meeting them face to face and having these rehearsals and stuff is just, it's blown it out of the water in terms of what we wanted it to be. So
I'm personally super excited for the concert, and that's tomorrow, right?
That's tomorrow. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday night, 8:30 concert.
Awesome. And so when was because this in my mind, where did the first idea for a concert? Like, when you talk to one of them and say, hey, I can play like bass on stage, and like, where was the initial conception of that?
So last year, actually, at the Video Game Awards in December, the Warframe band, so Matt Chalmers, Fran, Lewin, David, and then Reb on bass, they did like a small performance for press and creators at the Game Awards. It was very small, few songs, just kind of off the cuff kind of vibe. And from that, I think they gained a little bit of confidence of like, hey, we could actually like make this bigger, make it cool. And obviously when we start to think about the 10th year of TennoCon and how we want to make it cool and exciting, it goes, what can we do that is bigger and more exciting and than last year and the years before? And then we're like, oh, what if we put on a concert? And then it became like, no, but what if we put on a concert? Like, what if we actually did it? And then obviously, you know, you then start thinking about the logistics of it. Like, okay, we can't do a concert at RBC because we're setting up for TennoCon. So then we need a new space. And so all that conversation just started to kick off. And then it was like, no, we can actually achieve this. And so I think, you know, after Game Awards, beginning of this year, it was, let's commit to it and let's make this happen. And then how do we make that happen? Who's in the band? What are we singing? Like that all just kind of slowly trickled together. And now we have a concert.
I'm again very excited for it personally. It's gonna be. I'm really curious to see how that goes. And then hearing just the Warframe tracks that are in game already, especially the online stuff, like that's gonna be fun.
Bangers, bangers.
Other Warframe updates. So recently you guys had the Isleweaver update, right, for Duviri, and with it came a new Warframe, Oraxia, and I think everyone was like surprised. So like, oh my gosh, there's a spider in game. It's got all this cool movement stuff, because that's been a meme in the community for quite some time. What was Steve's reaction when he saw the spider frame for the first time?
It's funny to me because I feel like we've watched Steve almost like the little boy cried wolf. He kept crying spider frame, and like the community was like, yes, yes, Steve's got us. Lo and behold, he didn't even know that we were actually doing a spider frame. And honestly, like we knew kind of what Isleweaver we wanted it to be, with Rusalka coming back and going to Duviri, and like, okay, how can we make it spooky weird? And it was like spider frame, like let's throw a spider into that. I mean, tech-wise aside, like she's like an enigma in terms of a Warframe. Like the tech and animation that went into her to make her actually feel like a spider was more than we've ever done for any other Warframe, which was very exciting. But when Steve actually realized that we were doing it, he again cried wolf, so we thought we were joking. Like, no, you guys aren't doing a spider like that. It's his Warframe. There's no spider frame in Warframe. We're like, no, we're actually doing it, and we're doing it in like a Warframey way kind of vibe. And I think he, you know, kind of laughed at us and was like, you guys are silly, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's honestly like when I saw it for the first time again, I was like, what? Like, how? And so some of the movement tech there is super cool. What I also saw is now that this spider frame has been introduced, people are looking for a new type of Warframe to like, let's get this added.
Yeah.
I was hearing some people say shark frame popping up on the live stream.
There's shark frame and there's dino frame, which is also a big one. I mean, I'm a never say never kind of girl, and I think we say that a lot in this company of like never say never. It really is like if it makes sense, it makes sense, and we'll do it. And that's kind of what Oraxia ended up being, was like, it makes sense for this Duviri kind of story that we're trying to tell, so let's commit to a spider frame. So I'm not saying there's going to be a shark frame or a dino frame, but if it makes sense,
it could happen.
It could happen.
Hear me out on the shark frame bit here. You introduce the shark frame, and it has unique fishing mechanics. And that would be some more Warframe fishing. I mean, it's one of the best games for fishing, in my opinion.
Oh, you're a fish fan.
Yes. No, I've spent a long time. This man knows over here off cam. He knows how long I spent trying to find the right spots and getting the different fish. And yeah, so I spent a decent amount of time just going around and on both Cetus and Demos, just like, all right, where's the really cool fish? Where do they spawn the most? All that stuff.
Got the meta down for fishing.
Yes.
That's a shark frame.
I mean, if you could hop in the water and then get the fish like as the shark frame, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Fish in your mouth, just eat them all out.
Just grab them all.
All right, I'll take notes.
So moving on from that, going back to the Isleweaver update that we're talking about, it took place in the Duviri, which I thought interested a lot of people because you got to use your Warframe, as opposed to just the previous experience was you'd get to use your Warframe, but it was a different area. And so really when it comes to the Duviri, a couple questions there. Who is the like original person, who like the creative mind behind, let's make this new place and have like a different type of combat? Like it's one of the most unique experiences in Warframe.
Yeah.
And so begs the question of like, where'd that even come from?
So like the Duviri idea as a whole was Steve, Reb, and Pablo kind of at the let's do something weird and freaky, and then having the, you know, at least the Duviri original experience with the Drifter, you know, that's kind of your main person. And then with Weaver, it really came from a, how do we make it feel different? Because we do know that, you know, when we revisit a place such as Duviri, you want it to feel different. You don't want it to just be like, welcome back, like here's Duviri, and go do something else. So that's also been a ask for a long time of like, oh, like, you know, once you get to a certain part in Duviri, you can be your Warframe, and but very, you know, limited amount of time. So it was like, what if we just let them do it, and it rides the Duviri tech? And actually we saw from Weaver that exciting at the start and maybe a little bit of fatigue afterwards, actually, with how that operates. So we're definitely kind of looking at, you know, if we do go back to Duviri, and Weaver is a permanent node, and I'm going on a tangent now, but
That's fine.
there's a lot of feedback that we've gotten from this experience with Weaver in terms of people are excited to go back to Duviri, but there's probably some more tweaks that we can do there to make it feel more fresh, and instead of just being Duviri with Warframe. So what can we do there to do that? We're looking into that.
Tying into your guys' other title, Soulframe, was Duviri kind of like a test run for Soulframe, or like experimenting with more fun elements when it came to combat and just changing it up?
It's funny, I've gotten that question a lot, actually, of people asking if like Duviri was like a test bed for Soulframe or something, because they do share that kind of vibe, I guess. It's not confirmed. It's not. It's two very different things. But I think the Duviri of it all was, at the time, you know, we wanted to go something super weird, and we wanted to experiment with doing it at the beginning of the game. Have like that to be your first login experience, and experience that, which didn't really work out, and we had to change that, but that's fine. So yeah, it wasn't a test bed for Soulframe, but they're definitely, you know, there's similarities for sure, but it's two very different games. And I think the Soulframe crew is, you know, really trying to keep that visual identity for themselves with the magical forests and the animals, and then the tormented animals. And I'm like, oh, this isn't a cozy game at all. This is actually terrifying and sad, but also beautiful. And I get a puppy. Like, it's crazy over there.
And so, talking about Soulframe more, we saw during the event, people can tune in and get a glyph that's like a combination of both Clem and Ava.
Avocado, yeah.
And so, are we going to see more of those types of collabs? Because this is something they can earn in Warframe. Like, is it possible that something in Soulframe you can get that's kind of Warframe inspired too? Like, are we going to see more of that kind of mesh together?
Personally, that's my dream. Every time I see Steve, I'm like, where's the collab? Like, where's the crossover? Like, I'm waiting. I mean, in my perfect world, there's like a lore crossover or something. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm saying in my dreams, that's happening, because I love both worlds so much. And doing the Avocado Clem glyph for the Twitch drop for it came from, because it's the cosplay glyph, and we do have Soulframe cosplay that's going to be happening in it. So it was like, how can we kind of marry both those worlds and celebrate both games? And that's kind of what we got to do. And I think, I mean, if Steve's down, I'm down to do, you know, something subtle or something like that. I don't know if the paths will ever cross, but in my dreams they do.
Okay. We'll wait until we hear more news on that.
If you ever see it, you know my dreams came true.
Yeah, like you did that, Megan. I know.
I tried really hard.
So, Soulframe stuff is also happening at TennoCon this weekend. Some reveals taking place. When can people tune in to actually watch the demos, I think, that are happening?
Yeah, so Soulframe dev stream is Saturday at 12 p.m. They actually have a 30-minute demo, which is longer than the Warframe demo. So they cooked over there, and they got some. I think we've said already that it's one of the characters it's going to focus on is Bromius, which is this bear omen beast. And if you've kind of followed Soulframe, you might know what happens to these omen beasts and what one might have to do. But I truly don't think people are expecting what this demonstration is going to, like, it even shocked me. I was like, wow, like this is in a good way. I was like, I'm so excited for them to show their demo. And, you know, they're going to talk a lot about where Soulframe has started, because 2023 we announced it, and then it's still in preludes. It's still kind of growing with that community, and obviously we do have aspirations to set it free into the world. But really just talking about kind of what we've done over the past year, how the player base in the preludes access has influenced the game and helped build the game with us, which was our goal from the beginning, and then kind of showing where we're going with it, and then obviously a 30-minute demo to enjoy and hopefully load.
It's gonna be pretty cool. I know on our channel we've dived into Soulframe a little bit as well, and like just kind of trying to explain what this new IP is underneath the DE umbrella. It's really cool what you guys are doing over there. So excited to see what's gonna happen. So talking about Warframe again, what are some of the reworks like? So there's a couple of frames that have been around for a while that people would like to get touched on just a little bit. Some of the ones that were brought up to me, like by the community, was Chroma, Oberon, Limbo, Avara, Valkyr, Equinox. Anything happening there at all? Like any reworks to Warframes in general happening in the future?
Just reworked Valkyr, my girl. So love that for us. I'm just gonna give you one answer. Yes.
Okay, that works. That works.
Not gonna say who, I'm just gonna say yes.
I know a lot of people love using a lot of these frames, even if they aren't like super strong and over the top. They've all got their place. But
I will say that when we look at reworks, it's very like we say this a lot: right time, right place. Like it's gotta make sense, and Valkyr made sense for what we were doing, and I think people will be happy with the next one.
Okay. Hopefully
I say no. That I say no.
Something this weekend maybe on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Final question for you.
Yeah.
If there was one thing you could add to Warframe, you had free reign to make one decision, what would that be?
Oh my God. I would honestly just like more anime vibes. Like,
okay.
I want some of my favorite animes are like Attack on Titan and JJK. Like I just want like something super anime. I don't know what that is. Some sort of ability or like some quest that's super anime, or a Warframe anime. Like I'll take that. Anyone? No. Yeah, I think anything along that lines that like scratches that itch of like, oh, I feel like I'm this badass, sick anime character.
That I would also be fully behind that as well. That'd be really
cool.
And
a Soulframe crossover, Steve.
Yep. Anime Soulframe crossover.
Yep, Soulframe crossover one day.
So that wraps up the time that we have here today. But before we send off, quick question for you. We've got all this TennoCon stuff happening this weekend. Yeah. What are the times people can tune in on Twitch or elsewhere to catch all the new announcements and just cool stuff happening here?
Friday kicks off at 7 p.m. cosplay contest, and then it goes into the concert. Definitely don't miss that.
Time zone for that, 7 p.m.
Eastern time. ET. We're in the London, Ontario of it all, not London, England. Don't go to London, England.
Do not go.
Oh, you can go. You'll miss it all. And then Saturday's kind of day 2, but the big day kicks off at 11 a.m. Soulframe panel at 12, art panel at 1, sound panel at 2, narrative panel, which is brand new. We're talking all about lore of Warframe. That is at 3, and then at 4:30 is Tenno Live, where we will show you the future of Warframe.
All right. Super excited. And for those in our community who are tuning in here to the video, but want to also tune into TennoCon, I know we've got some raid stuff going on. It's kind of the reason why I'm doing this interview and it's not Cross.
Yeah, what the hell? Where are you?
Destiny stuff. But if you guys don't want to miss all the TennoCon stuff happening this weekend for the raid race, on Monday, we'll have our own live stream where we'll be going through all the TennoCon stuff. I'll be sharing some media from the trip as well. So if you'd like to just tune in later, we'll recap everything that's going on, and it's going to be a good time. So feel free to hop on stream, twitch.tv/Aztecross, and we'll be covering Warframe. It's going to be a good time.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming to London. And
absolutely, it's been a blast. Seriously, you guys have done a great job. Even just the pre-event stuff, like it's been super fun. So
I'm glad you enjoyed it, and there's lots more to see. So
I haven't seen anything yet, so I know as much as the community does at this point in time.
Alrighty.
So it's gonna be a good time. But that's us signing out for fellas and ladies. Thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.